Well, we're right in the thick of some pretty good subjects at the county level. The last board meeting, we had a resolution stipulating uh, opposition to the Rosemont mine. As you all are aware of, the Army Corps of Engineers last month gave its final permitting authorization to Hudbay, which owns Rosemont Mine, to operate, and the resolution passed in opposition of the mine. I voted against the resolution for a number of reasons. First and foremost is that as a native Tucsonan and as a business owner and a investor in the community all my life, I've listened to the arguments both pro and con about the Rosemont mine. I've been involved in that discussion for as long as the issue has been around, which has been over 10 years. And I think the biggest objection I have is the idea or the feeling that everybody has a seat at the mine permitting table. That's just not the case. If you're the Board of Supervisors, if you're Save the Santa Ritas, if you're the Mining Alliance, if you're the Arizona Business Association, you don't have any seat at the permitting table. There is a structured permitting process that is regulated by the federal government. There were 17 different federal agencies involved as experts on this mine issue. And for the last 10 years, Pima County has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, trying to insert itself in that process that it cannot insert itself in. And it's evidenced by the fact that the mine received all the permissions to operate from the federal jurisdiction. My biggest objection is we've got to stop spending taxpayer-funded lawsuits on this issue when we don't have a seat at the table. That money, which could easily be into the millions of dollars, could have been used in other areas like fixing roads. But the problem that we have is that the organizations, the groups, the individuals feel that they have an ability to insert itself or the opinion of its organization in that process. The mine has been granted the operation permit. They've been granted permission to run. So I feel that it's important for this community to move forward and find ways in a positive manner to coexist with the mine and to make sure that it lives up, that Rosemont and Hudbay live up to the promises they've made to this community. So the situation that exists now, my understanding, is that the permission has been granted for the mine to open. They are on track to begin preliminary operations sometime in June. I'm sure there are going to be some legal battles, some legal fights, court fights by other organizations. But from the past experience of these 17 different organizations at the federal level that have gone through the process, the mine has been given permission. So that's the current status of that particular subject.
I'm Dr. Azam. I have a private practice in the Old Vail Station area. Being a physician, my question is, you mentioned about 17 organizations went through this process to get it approved. It was the mine. Is there any kind of medical evaluation was done and how this mine can affect the people's health in the local area?
I'm certain with the 17 federal regulatory agencies that conduct the mining operating procedures, permission or not, much of it is devoted to public health, water, air. So those agencies that would be responsible for the permitting of the mine that have direct correlation to public health have, through that process, vetted and analyzed and deliberated upon public health issues. And according to their findings, one or more of those 17 agencies decreed that the mine could proceed to open. So yes, public health was a major part of that 17 federal regulatory agency process.
Thank you.
Jean Vickers, Corona de Tucson. It's been going on for more than 10 or 20 years. It's the mining law of 1872. Google the mining law of 1872. The only person who I know who has ever made an effort in Congress to get rid of that law, which is an onerous use of land by mining companies, almost all of whom are not American companies. So the copper's leaving, the money's leaving, and they're leaving us with dead water. And the only one I know who's ever tried to change the mining law of 1872 is Rahul Grijalva. My opinion, and if you folks know me, you know I don't shy away from political, is until we have Democrats in D.C. willing to change that law, including in the White House, it's never going to change. And I think you're absolutely right. We don't have a seat at the table. We do, however, have options to participate and support groups that are suing. And that's the only last gasp effort right now. If any of those lawsuits prevail, it might be stopped, but I frankly don't see that happening.
Could have articulated the situation better than she did. Anything else? Okay.